Hi, everyone. Are you on the fence about buying a home here on the Gulf Coast of Florida? Like many who plan to relocate, purchase a second home, or invest in this area, people have been waiting, and you may be waiting yourself. In this video, I want to jump in. I want to do a quick market update on a trend that I've noticed, a change that I've noticed in our local market that typically does not happen this time of year. I've noticed over the last 2 to 3 weeks, something's different. Could now be actually the best time to buy over the next 12 months? I'm David Zackos, broker, owner of Zackos Realty and Design. I'm a local real estate broker who specializes in the Tri-County area of Manatee, Sarasota, and Charlotte counties. And I've been living here for 45 years, 19 years into my second career, which is real estate. And prior to that, I was in law enforcement locally for 25 years. The last 5 years of my law enforcement career, I bought and sold, I did flips, I even built homes in our local area. I always had a love and passion for real estate, and I kind of had a knack of knowing what was a good buy, not was a good buy. And then getting into real estate, I just wanted to share that with other people. Owning my own brokerage, we are working more than full time, representing buyers and sellers. We have our pulse on the market, and I wanted to share our deep insights and knowledge with the buyers and sellers out there so that you can help you make good decisions. I've noticed a change in our local market that just started about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And as I talk to other local brokers and team leaders, they seem to be seeing the same trend. You know, real estate on the Gulf Coast of Florida is very cyclical. It typically starts out in January. There's a normal cycle that it goes through. It's very busy during season. We start seeing in January inventory increase. Sellers go to list their homes. Snowbirds come down. They spend the winter, they're renting, and then they fall in love with it. And then they decide to buy. The Sarasota and surrounding areas has always been a desirable place for people to relocate to or buy a second home. They decide to buy, and that typically peaks around March or April. We're in full swing. Every day is a perfect day for a bike ride, for going to the beach, for jogging, for water sports. Spring trainees here, both in Sarasota, Welland Park, and down in Port Charlotte. And then after spring training, after Easter, things seem to wind down. Listings come off the market, typically end of April or May. You start to see them cancelings. The people that were anxious to buy something now are heading back up north, so they tend to wean on their interest as far as getting a house this season. And then many sellers, you know, if they're not desperate, or I would say motivated, many sellers who are not motivated, they'll take their home off the end of April and May, and they'll just decide to put it back on the market next season. May down here tends to be a good month to buy. You know, if a seller still has not taken their home off the market in May or June, during the summer, they typically are motivated sellers. And the summer in real estate here is typically slower. It's a good time for us as real estate agents and brokers to take our vacations because it is always cyclical and it's slowing down. Let's jump in and see what's happening this year. As I record this, it's the very first part of August 2025. Inventory has been building in our area for about the last 14 to 18 months. Right now, we have about, across the board, I'm just doing a generalization for our 3-county area, about 7 months of inventory for single family homes and about 10, 11 months of inventory of condos. That's one thing that's an advantage of buyers at this point in time. New construction inventory is extremely high. And as a result, builders are offering incentives. They're going to give you 3.99, 4.99 interest rates. They're going to throw in a free pool. We're seeing 50 to 60,000 off a list price almost on our first offer, up to 100,000 in free design incentives, 20,000 through closing costs. Every builder is a little bit different, but this is typically what we're seeing from the new construction from the builders. So that's taking place. That's creating opportunities for buyers. Interest rate just recently have ticked down. Buyers are now taking advantage of that. These lower rates are lower than they have been for several months. There's been a little bit of pent-up demand because of buyers that have been waiting. They realize inventory is high, they see the market trending down, but now they're starting to come off the fence. And again, within the last 2 to 3 weeks, we're seeing buyers really start to buy, make offers, negotiate. Summer selling season up north has also allowed, this is another thing, has also allowed a number of buyers to sell their homes up there in areas where there's a low inventory. They're getting top market price, sometimes, you know, well above their list price. And then they're taking that money and they're relocating it, reinvesting it down here. And they know that they can buy more home than they have been able to for a long time. Now, another thing I think is causing this uptick locally that we don't typically see during the summer is that Sarasota, including the Venice Lakewood Ranch area, is getting a lot of national recognition. It's becoming a destination place for everyone. You know, it used to be maybe towards older population, but a lot of young families now are considering this area. Sarasota County schools are excellent. I used to work in the schools as a school resource officer. They always had a great reputation compared to other areas, but now it's even more so. They have a new school board, they have a new school superintendent. It seems like they are really being aggressive about making their school district one of the outstanding school districts across all of Florida. And as a result, I know I'm dealing with buyers that are considering the Sarasota County schools for their children that not 2-3 years ago would even been on their radar. We have Pineview School for the gifted. We have a couple of really highly rated academic schools locally, and then also athletics. It's actually a destination for parents that want to bring their students down and put them in some of our local high schools because of the outstanding athletics that we have in addition to the academics. One more thing that I see is that buyers that need a home are taking advantage of the low prices right now because there's no guarantee. They realize, you know, that prices are down now. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future, but we know it's down compared to the last couple of years. So we have more buying power. So we're going to move forward. Now, a combination of all these factors have moved buyers into making offers and going into contract. And we're seeing an uptick in activity in sales that we don't normally see this time of year. Now, a couple additional factors that I believe are also creating an increase in activity at this time in the summer where we don't normally have it is that pretty much the word is out. I think right now the experts say there's a 90% chance that the Fed will lower the interest rates in September. And buyers know that once they do lower the rates, that hopefully will reduce the mortgage rates. You're going to see, again, a big step of buyers that have been holding off, have been on the fence, that are going to be back making offers and buying homes locally. People, I think, are taking advantage of the fact, and I think we've already seen a downtick in mortgage rates because of that anticipation. So people are taking advantage of that. Another thing that's happened this summer, it's a small thing, but right now the tropics are very quiet. Our Gulf Coast is very desirable. Buyers are buying down here, and the change is that they may not be considering homes in the flood zone, homes right on the coast, but they are considering homes 2, 3, 5 miles in and are outside the flood zone. So they're taking advantage of that and getting those. Excess new construction inventory is putting a lot of pressure on home sales for the resale side, and that is creating opportunities for buyers that are taking advantage of. They know right now that they can negotiate. I mean, we are seeing negotiations on our part when we represent a buyer up to 10% off of the market value. So some of the buyers are saying, you know what, I know there's possibility that the market may trend down another 2-3% possibly, but if I can get my house for below 10% of market value, I should be fine. So they're stepping in the market, they're moving forward. Now, what we have noticed, and I want to point out, is that some local neighborhoods are leveling off. It appears to be others are still dropping in prices. If you have interest in a particular neighborhood, you want to ask us specifically what may be trending in that neighborhood, feel free to reach out to us. On a micro level, we're happy to share that. I'm talking about generalizations across this Tri-County area. The most desirable areas towards the city centers are showing signs of pricing leveling off. Farther out neighborhoods are typically the ones that are the first to come down in price, the last to level off, and the last to go back up. So in our area, that is homes not on the water in Port Charlotte, Northport, Rotunda, East Inglewood Parish, and Mayaca City. The farthest out neighborhoods are still seeming to be declining more, but some of the most sought after neighborhoods in the areas of Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, and Venice are seeing a lot of activity. We're putting a lot of buyers into contract lately, which typically doesn't happen this time of year. A lot more buyers are typically wait till after hurricane season, after August and September, but now they're pulling the trigger now. And I just wanted to share this with you because that's something that we're seeing. So could we be at a place where it is the best time to buy? Only time will tell. And in 2 or 3 months, I can give you more clarity on that. But I wanted to at least share what's taking place now so that you can be educated on what we're seeing locally. I appreciate you watching. I thank you for watching. I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Again, feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions about any specific homes or neighborhoods. All right, take care. Talk to you again soon.